It's January 21st, 2022. Here's an update on the AIQ expert system on the market. What we're looking at here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average Price Chart, and they're in candlestick mode here. And I've marked on here the last 4 expert ratings that we've had that have been substantial. Substantial expert ratings are 95 or greater to the upside or the downside. Every single day we get an expert rating on the Dow Jones market, which is calculated based upon price action and numerous technical indicators on the Dow Jones in conjunction with advanced declining, new highs and new lows, and appropriate volumes for the New York Stock Exchange. There are over 400 different rules involved in calculating the expert rating every single day. Most days the expert rating is neutral and we're not interested, only when we get significant imbalance on one side or the other. Once the expert rating to the upside or the downside reaches 95 or greater, then we take more interest in what's going on. So back in this period here in December, we had a 0-100, which is 100 to the downside, and then followed up by a 298. Two strong downside signals right at the moment this move to the downside. Very quick movement to the downside. Any of these expert ratings we can actually scroll back to fairly quickly. By clicking this ER button down here, it takes me back to the 95 or greater ratings up or down. So in this case, I'm going to go back to the first of the ratings here. Just switch that cursor line on. So there it is, 0-100 to the downside, December the 9th. And that was a powerful signal to the downside. After we'd had 4 or 5 days moving up, we can query the system to see what major rules applied by clicking this button here. The first 3 rules here are referring to the relevancy of 3 different indicators turning negative pretty much at the same time. These 3 indicators are the advanced decline line, they are also the advanced decline oscillator, and also the up-down volume oscillator. So all turning negative at the same time is pretty bearish. The 4th rule down here, the advanced decline oscillator has turned negative with volume accumulation already negative. So that's another bearish signal. And so that's the major contributors to that 0-100. So the indicators involved here, let's go have a look at a couple of those. In my control panel here, I have a lot of the indicators that are available within the AIQ TradingExpert Pro. On this particular market chart, there are very specific indicators that only apply to market style charts, like the new high and low indicator that we just talked about. So when this signal was fired here, this was beginning to turn down. And in fact, the trend had been down, although we'd been rallying up here, it hadn't really gone up very strongly. So that was one of the signals that we saw on the market expert timing system. So other indicators down here that we just talked about, the advanced decline oscillator. So this one has also turned pretty negative right here already, even though the market had been going up and was flat. So that was another clue that things might be turning down. The advanced decline line already turned down, even though we were still flat and had just turned up. So those are just some of the indications that contributed to that high expert rating. Things didn't go very far for a few days, although they went down briefly, and eventually prices did move down to the 34,560 level from the area up here where the first signal was around 35,700. So it's a pretty good move. The second 298 was a kind of an extra confirmation of that down signal. We do like to look for the phase indicator to confirm expert ratings. The phase indicator is a specific indicator that we have within AIQ, and that's this indicator here. Usually when we get a down signal, we want to see this turning down at the same time. That didn't happen at all until we got to right here. Following the phase confirmation of that down signal, we did not get a buy signal to the upside. Don't always get the signals timely and correct, but the next major signal began up here. There was a 595 on January the 3rd. So right at the end of the Santa Claus rally, which had just occurred. And at that time, we got a 595. When I query the rules on this one, there's some additional things happening in this case. And in this case, it's the intraday high prices have reached a 21-day high, but the up-down volume oscillator is negative. And so in this sideways market, which it was in right up here, this is a strong bearish signal. So in this case, things started to move down a little bit over the next 4 or 5 days, and then we got another signal, 199 to the downside, and this one was at the 10th of January. So this is, again, a double signal in place. When we query the expert ratings, there's a lot more rules fired here, including trend status has changed to a weak downward trend. The advanced decline line has turned negative again. The up-down volume oscillator was involved. The advanced decline oscillator has gone negative again. So again, any of that rally that had happened before, this is now rolling over again. There hasn't been a signal since then. Of course, it's been going down pretty substantially. The next thing we'll look out for is the expert system analyzing the indicators and looking for potential internals diverging to the upside for an up signal, or it's possible there could be another down signal if there are more indicators coming on board. So we're going to go to the data retrieval. So we're going to see what's happened today. I'm going to just go and get the Dow Jones Industrial Average. We'll also get its market breadth. See if we can get some information on what's happening today. It's logging on to the servers at Dow Data, and it's going to grab both the Dow Jones and all that breadth data, and there it is. So let's go see what's going on when this data's come in here. So when we exit out of the communications, and we'll go into the charts now. As you can see, I've moved it over to 121. Neutral expert rating, but obviously prices are continuing down. That's not surprising given those strong ratings up the top there. That's it for an update on the market timing for you.